Okay. So let's see. Is it in? Is it in here? Yes. I do not like my two-player deck holster because it is too difficult to use as for its purpose, its intended purpose of dealing cards in a Yu-Gi-Oh game and doing it for two players. So I made this two-player dealer that straps under my arm, but I don't like this either. I mean, I like it better than the deck holster, the two-player deck holster, but it's not quite perfect. So the issues it has, sorry about that. The issues this has that the deck holster doesn't is that this gets in my way when I'm using my arm. But the issues that the deck holster has that this doesn't is that this is just hard to use and it's overly complicated and it doesn't work too well and it requires too much setup and blah blah blah. So I'm gonna make another deck holster. I closed it. That was stupid. I'm gonna make another deck holster. And the reason I'm going to make another deck holster and not another dealer based on this is because I honestly don't know how to solve the problems that this has. And even if I do, it doesn't serve the additional purpose of being a deck box. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make another deck box that can be a dealer. And I'm going to make another pair of nesting deck boxes that can be a good dealer, right, for my Yu-Gi-Oh cards for two players, right? And I think I'm gonna oversimplify it, or I think I'm gonna simplify it greatly. I'm gonna simplify the design by quite a bit so that it becomes a lot easier to use than this thing. It'll be about as easy to use as this thing. Also, I think real quick I'm going to change this sketch here. The reason being, I have this is a better font. That's a better font for my purposes. Might as well do this one as well. I don't think I needed that enter. Anyways. Oh, that's right. The previous font was all caps. There. And okay. That's just a me thing. That doesn't need to be... That I'm not going to change that in real life. I'm just going to... Anyways. Okay. So I'm going to start now making a new deck box. Right? So it's going to start off with some parameters. Add a parameter. Card width. All right, no spaces. Is 65. Card cavity width is 65. Card cavity height is 95. Deck cavity depth, I'm gonna call that 40 for now. I'm gonna measure that later. And then I've got I've got extra deck cavity depth, and I'm gonna call that 20. So now I'm gonna offset this. I'm always gonna have a wall thickness parameter. It's gonna be 1.2. And then make this wall thickness. Make this card cavity, not depth, width. Card cavity width. Make this extra deck cavity depth. Make this deck cavity depth. Alright. Then I'm going to go ahead and extrude these. This is going to be the inner box that's going to hold my deck. And I'm going to extrude these by card cavity height times 2/3. And then I'm going to go back into this. Going to put a rectangle around it. Add a parameter, call that sliding tolerance. And I'm going to make it 0.25. Sliding tolerance all the way around. Not all the way around, actually. Not all the way around. I'm gonna make it sliding tolerance on just the front and back. So again, the idea is that it's going to be a pair of nesting deck boxes, just like the 2-player deck holster, but it's going to be more simplified. More simplified. Gonna go ahead and make this parallel to here. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. See, that's collinear to here. Okay. And then 2 of these. And then that's going to be wall thickness. That's going to be wall thickness. And then that's going to be sliding tolerance. So this is the same, so this here is the same bit as in the deck holster, where, let me just get rid of the bodies. I had this divider here for the extra deck and the main deck that had to slide out, right, in order for the inner deck box to fit inside the outer deck box, and then it slid into these slots. Same thing here. So that's what that is. These are collinear with this, and then I'm going to set this one and this one equal, and then I'm going to set them to about a wall thickness would work. And then I'm going to make these sliding tolerance on both sides. There we go. And then I can just go ahead and put that inside. And actually this right here doesn't have to actually be anything. It was just there so that I had a line that was collinear. Now, finally, offset from this, negative wall thickness. Okay, bring back the sketch. It should probably be card cavity height. Right, and the idea there is that whoops, hang on. I'm also going to include these little nubbins. Okay, so the idea there is that I'll put a lid on this one, the outer deck box, and that will protect the cards, my cards, right? That'll protect my cards from the environment, so it'll be a deck box. But then, when it comes time, I've got a better idea. I've got a much better idea. I'm gonna make, okay, so the idea was to put a lid on the outer deck, the outer box, right? And then I would pull the inner box out of the outer, or I pull the inner box out of the outer box, yeah. And then my deck would be in this inner box and I could draw from it. But I've got a much better idea. The reason this is better is because I can now make it the same on both, I can make it the same height on both sides. I'm going to make the outer box the lid for the inner box. So I'm going to go ahead and not have that because I'm going to wait a while before I make the outer box, now that I know what I want. I'm going to go ahead and extrude this. By negative wall thickness. Okay. So this would work technically. All I have to do is, so I still want to keep the belt clips. The reason I want to keep the belt clips is because the belt clips are excellent. They're a good idea. They work very well. They're awesome. But I can't put them in yet because I don't know where everything's going to go quite yet. But what I do need, I talked about this before, with my, where's the, okay, with the blade, the Duel Blade, I decided that I don't like keeping the hand, right, when you need to fiddle with the deck and put the cards that are in your hand somewhere, right? I don't like them here because that gives me access to information that I shouldn't have access to, because I can just turn my arm and see the other player's hand. That's cheating. So I would like to eliminate that option by adding... Nope, wrong plane. By adding, right, the cards, the hand slot to the dealer. And because this dealer is a deck box that is like hip mounted essentially, right? I don't have access to the other player's hand, because the other player is going to have their hand on their on their person instead of mine. So offset that by wall thickness. Not negative. All right, so this is just the idea. I'm not making it quite yet. I'm trying to figure out what I want to, how I want it to be. Actually, no, I should make this. I should make this. I should be making this seriously. So instead, I'm gonna make it 3. The reason it's 3 is to be more in line with the way it works on the blade. Right, with the blade I've got play zones, and that's 3, and that can hold about 10 cards. So that's what I want. I essentially want to copy that geometry more or less. Give or take. So I believe this needs to also be 3. Yes. Or does it? I think what I want to do, I think what I'd rather do is have this come out a little bit. If I have this come out a little bit, I think I know what I'll do. Okay. So, I'm trying to think about like the geometry of things here for a minute. 0.4. And a construction line. Okay. So now this. Okay. And that should be 1 or 2. So 2, just to make it easier to use. And then move that as close as I can get away with. Oh crap. Okay. As close as I can get away with. Right? And I need this to go way the heck down. And then just like that. Okay. Yeah, okay. And then I'm going to put an arc here. And then put that there. Okay. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, so I'm going to go ahead and extrude this. -15. And it's not going to be the whole way. The reason it's not going to be the whole way is because I'm going to have to put the same type of shape on the other one. And the other one, I want the lid to go here, right? And I'm going to put the same type of shape. Or no, it's not going to go the whole way, mainly because I have another box going around it. See, I've got this box going around it. And this is going to block the box from being snug around here. So it's only going to go about 15. Then what it's going to do is something. I'm going to change that 15 to a parameter. I'm going to call it hand clip width. And it's going to be about 15 for now, because I feel like 15 would work. But type hand clip width to make it that, so that I can change the hand clip width to be anything I want. Bring back the sketch. Extrude this not by 15, but by a wall thickness ought to work. That, however, is indeed a shortcut. Or is it? So the reason it's not going to go the whole way. Yes, Gina? Do you like chewing on that box? The reason that's not going to go the whole way is gonna... Is it tasty, Chia? Is your box yummy? You shouldn't be doing that, Chia. Cardboard's bad for you. The reason why it's not going to go the whole way is so that it'll be easier to put a whole hand in here, but it's also going to be easy enough that if you've got 1 or 2 cards to slide it into here, and it should still be held pretty nicely. That's the idea. I would appreciate it if you didn't chew up the box right now, Chia. Pretty please. Chia's ignoring me. Hang on. Okay, so as I was saying, this will make it easy to do two things. One, it'll have that space in there to grab onto one or two cards a little tighter. Shouldn't need that space to grab onto the one or two cards a little tighter because this, I believe, is quite close. But two, this will also act as a bit of an inside wall to keep cards from like falling from like to like put your cards against the inside wall, you know? So like you could tilt it maybe this way, right? Hang on. There's a way to do this. Yeah, so you imagine it's being tilted like that. Then the cards will lean on that wall. That's the idea. Or that's an idea. I think that is a good point to stop for here. I'm going to name this sketch base. I'm going to name this sketch bottom what? Bottom hand clip. There. And then I can go ahead and put a plane. Hang on. I'm just going to go ahead and put a line here real quick. And put a plane through that line. And I'm going to go ahead and split the body. You can name this bottom. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and split the body. Coincident tools would create illegal. Okay. Split this here. Okay, there we go. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and take this and save it. Where am I going to put this? Dual discs, deck holders, new folder, name it new 2-player deck holster. Okay. And test. Okay. Save. Alright. So, I don't think I explained this, but the idea, I'm not going to have the little... I'm not going to have this slot here for dealing the cards. Because you don't need that. You could just pull cards from the top. So I'm just going to pull the cards from the top. That's the idea. Go ahead and suppress that. In fact, can I suppress the sketch? No. But I'm going to save here. Rename this new 2-player deck holster. Save. Well, its location should be in dual discs, and it should be in deck holders. Okay. So I'm going to save here, and then I'm going to slice it, and then I'm going to print it, and I'm going to test it. Alrighty then. Okay, so here I am in my slicer, dual discs, deck holders, new 2-player holster, bottom test. Okay, so what I'm testing here is just how well the clip here works for the hand. That's gonna be a whole hour. Holy smokes. Anyways, that shouldn't be an issue to print. Why is that gonna be an hour? I don't think that helped. How many walls I have? And that's not going to change anything. Well, it reduced it by a minute. Print thin walls. I'll turn that off. What does shortest do? It says, when paths and consecutive layers start at the same point, a vertical seam may show. When aligning these near a user-specified location, the seam is easy to remove. When placed randomly, the inaccuracies at the paths will will be less noticeable. Shortest path, the print will be quicker. Okay, I want shortest. Smart hiding. Seam corner preference. Control whether corners on the model outline influence the position of the seam. None means that corners have no influence on the seam position. Hide seam makes the seam more likely to occur on an inside corner. Exposed seam makes the seam more likely to occur on an outside corner. Hide or exposed seam makes the seam more likely to occur at an inside or outside corner. Smart hiding allows both inside and outside corners, but chooses inside corners more frequently if appropriate. Okay, those are the settings I want for that. Speed, 40. I'm going to set that to 60. Oh my god, even at 690 it's still going to take a half hour? Not 690, but 60. Okay. The adhesion is good. The adhesion is what I want. The support, no support, doesn't need support. You know, it occurs to me that I can probably do this in a way that uses a lot less support material. Because the way I'm going to test this anyways. Hang on. But that's not going to change the speed. Yeah, okay. I'm just going to go ahead and save this then. SD card backup, Duel Blades, deck holders, new folder. New 2-player deck holster and save. Open that and rename it, because I don't like the CCR10 dash thing. Okay, and I'll go ahead and get this printed then. Okay, so I've got that test heating up to print right now. And I thought of a way to do this that's actually going to be much better than this. So I don't know if I'm going to need this. It's probably going to end up being useless. But anyways, I thought of a much better way to put the hand clip on these so that nothing interferes with anything, so that I can put the top on top of it, the top lid on top of it, and it'll be fine. So it's this sketch, right? Okay, so if I just go ahead and suppress that and that. Alright. Then I move this to here. Now I can, I'm going to put a sketch here. It has to be on the front, so I'm just going to make sure. Okay. I'm just going to put it facing this way. Right? Instead of the clip going up, it's going to go to the side, and it's going to be on the bottom, right? That'll allow me space actually to put the whole top part on top, the whole lid that's going to be the other box, right, on top of it. So yeah. And then 2 and 1, and then an arc, all right, and then a spline, you know what, 2, 2, and 4. How about that? Put a line here. Make it parallel to this one. Put it 0.4. All right. That ought to do it. Let me just hit and bring this line all the way through just to. Okay. Now I just gotta. Nope. Just a little bit. Hang on. If I put another line here, I make this 1.2. Then I can make sure that the bottom here is in between 0.4 and 0.2. Alright. And then if I select both of these, I can offset them. Oh. What? There, okay. Then I'll go ahead and offset this by a wall thickness. Actually, no, this is going to be its own thing. And then this is going to be a wall thickness here. Alright. Then that's gonna go up to there. I'm gonna trim. Where's the trim? Then hang on a second. Oh darn. Okay, well, what if this was okay? That's fine then. I'm gonna make a parameter. I'm gonna call it hand clip thickness, and for now it's gonna be 1.2. That way I can change this without changing the rest of it. Wall thickness. I should be able to trim here. Hang on a second. There. Can't I move these? There it is. Okay. I don't know what happened there, but okay. Then that. Trim it. Okay. Okay, and then if I extrude this to be hand clip width, there. I don't know if that's the best angle to have it at, but I think that'd work. But then another thing I can do, right, is go back into this sketch. Can I offset? No. Well, offset. Oof. See, now it wants to. Because I just want to offset that. Negative 0.4. Okay. And then I'll bring the sketch back and extrude that by a negative wall thickness. That way, nothing, what was it? That way, basically, nothing will fall out from the bottom. And then, if that doesn't work, I might want to add in, I might want to actually add one of these. Okay, because I'm thinking about how this would be used, right? And it might. So right now, the idea is I would slide things into here, right? But might want to slide things down. And if I want to slide things down, it might be easier actually to do this. Sweep across this. Oh god, that looks gross. But see, the idea there would be that it can flex outward, right? But because of the shape here, it's easier to push the cards down. So I'm gonna suppress that though. I don't think I need that. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and test this. I'm gonna cut it here. I'm gonna go ahead and save this. And I want to keep this whole height because while I'm at it, actually I don't know if I should because my other test should also be the same height. Okay, so I'm not going to keep the whole height. Okay. So instead, I'll go ahead and put another plane here. No, I'll just split it on the plane itself, on there. Alright. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. Bottom test 2. All right. I did save that, right? Okay, cool. Now I'm going to go ahead and suppress all that. So now I've got just the body here. And I will rename this to... not better, because I don't know if it's better. Bottom hand clip 2. Okay. So what I want, so at least the other one will allow me to test if I like the height. But then oh, you know what I should have done? I forgot to do that. I'm gonna put this before the suppression and unsuppress. Okay, that one I need to suppress. This I need to unsuppress. Okay. This right here. Okay, bottom test 2, save, yes, replace it. Yes. Okay. Now I can suppress this. Okay. And then I'll go ahead and see. Should have also, whatever. Whatever. You know, I'm gonna kick myself if I don't do that. So I'm gonna do that now. Put this right there and unsuppress. And then save it again. Okay. Now suppress again. There, now it's all one piece again. And now I'll go ahead and get that printed out and see how well this works. Because what it needs to be able to do is hold the cards, right? It needs to be able to hold the cards without them falling out. But it needs to be easy enough to hold the cards, right? Because, like, I could just do another bucket. But I could just put another bucket here. But another bucket would be a little bit confusing, right? This is a little bit more clear that this is a temporary thing. At least I think it is. I don't know. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and test it out then. If I angle that. That'd work. Anyways, I'll get this sliced and printed then. I don't know. Maybe just another bucket would be better. If I end up not liking this, I'll do just another bucket. But it has to be a loose bucket. That's the thing. Well, okay, because, like, it needs to hold the... It needs to keep... Because another bucket could also be loose. Right? Or it could be loose enough that the cards could, like... The cards could, like, angle downwards. Fall down at an angle. And then you could see them, right? And, like, they have to be hidden. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll go ahead and get it sliced and printed. Okay, so here I am in the slicer, gonna pull up this test. This might fall over. This might fall over. Why do I keep designing... Why do I design things in such the weirdest orientation? Because, like... It's because I'm designing it from, like, my perspective, right? So, from my perspective, I'm imagining the box being, you know, on me. So this is, from my perspective, basically where it's gonna be. But anyways, 33 minutes. Okay, I don't think it'll fall down in 33 minutes. I don't see any issues. Not in hindsight, it might actually be better to not have this bottom face down here, because it might be better for the cards to go through this in the middle of the card, so that they get a better grip, you know, and so that when they try to, anyways, I can explain it when I test it, because I think it'll be better to demonstrate as I test it. So I'll go ahead and save that. Bottom test 2. Second bottom test, because that way I can read it better when it shows up on the 3D printer screen. Okay, file saved. Alright, I'll go ahead and get that printed then as soon as the other one decides to finish, because that one is currently 51%. Alright. I should also, if this works, I should also take a measurement of where the points are on the spline, so that I can put them in exactly the same spot for the top one. Anyways, I'll go ahead and get this printed then. Okay, so I am for sure not going to be able to do the bottom here, this bottom part here, because it just straight up fused to the clip and caused the whole print to fail. So I'm going to go ahead and suppress that and unsuppress that. I believe, suppress this for now, because now I'm gonna have to put these fillets back in. It was like 1.5. Okay, 1.75 will work as well. And then move that to before that. And I can just delete it, actually. Yes. And then I can unsuppress that. And I can also delete these. Go ahead and take this and save it as really? Yeah. Okay. And hopefully this one won't fail. The other print didn't fail, but this one did, so I have to reprint this one. And what happened was there was that little thing there, that little lip underneath. Yeah, that's gonna fuse that's pretty much always just going to fuse to the clip, so I'm going to not have that. Oh, there it is. So now I can what did I just click on? Suppress that, and then I'll go ahead and see how well that works. Okay, so reslice this. Yeah, okay. And then click on preview. Yeah, no problems there. Save. Next, replace it. Okay. And then I'll go ahead and get that printed then. Okay, so I've got the first idea printed, which was this is the box, and I put the cards in here. And the second idea printed, which was this is the box, and I put the cards in here. They both work pretty well. I'm gonna go with this because it'll be easier to print and easier to design in general. But this one is the full height of what I designed for the box to be. So this will show me how far the cards are gonna stick out, which is not very. It's like pretty good. So I like that. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that. In terms of this thing for the hand cards, you can use it pretty easily, but I think I can make it a little bit better by curling this in and bringing this out and moving the minimum point here further down in there. And I think I'm going to also move the this side further out too. But it does work though, as is. Like you can just stick the whole hand in there, right? And if the whole box was there, which would be about this height, right? And it was, if it was, there's my pants. If it was on my pants, right? The other player wouldn't be able to see it. And then you pull them out and you stick just one in there. And it's a little bit loose, but it's not gonna like fall out unless you do some vigorous shaking. So this works as is, but I think I can improve it just a little bit more. So that's what I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna improve it just a little bit more, because I want it to be really easy to just slide the cards in one-handed, because like that just now, these ones didn't go in and I have to like try again. So that's the idea. And I believe the maximum number of cards you're allowed in a hand is 7. I think if you have more than 7 cards in your hand at the end of your turn, you have to discard cards until you only have 7 cards. I think. I don't know. No one ever has more than 7 cards in their hand at the end of their turn, because everyone uses all of their cards. So I think except Exodia players, but Exodia decks kind of are constantly drawing and discarding anyway, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, just some minor improvements I can make, but it already works.